Repossession in accordance to halacha. May one collect money or possessions from a person who owes him money and is refusing to pay his debt? Whether it be someone you lent money to and he's refusing to pay you back, or you're an employee and your employer is refusing to pay you your wages, or you sold merchandise to someone and he's refusing to pay for the merchandise or a service, or your tenant is refusing to pay you rent. And in all cases of the like, when someone is chayiv, is liable for a payment, and is refusing to pay, are you allowed to take matters into your own hands and forcibly take either money from him or forcibly take items from him that belong to him to reimburse the debt? So although it's a clear halacha and ruling that every debtor has a biblical obligation to pay his dues, and it's absolutely forbidden to delay payment to whom that he owes money to. It says, Leiva Rasha v'lo yishalim, and a leiva, one who owes money and doesn't pay, is considered a rasha. However, there are certain regulations that are in place on the person who lent the money or the person who was owed the money, which he may not do in order to collect the loan. And one of those regulations are that it is a biblical prohibition for a lender to forcibly collect items from a debtor to repay a loan. If you lent someone $1,000 and he's not paying you back, and you have ability to take his objects or take his wallet and take out money, it's forbidden to do so against his will. So is recorded in the Mishnah in Bava Metzia 113a, recorded in the Mechaber Choshen Mishpat 97.6, and in the Alter Rebbe Shulchanaruchharav, the laws of Halva, Halacha 7. Now, does this prohibition apply only to a person who lent money to someone else, that the lender can't collect possessions or cash forcibly, or does it apply to any time that someone owes you money, such as the cases we listed above of an employee, your tenant, person who purchased merchandise? Can you forcibly collect from them? So the rule regarding these cases is as follows. All debt that has been incurred not due to a loan and that has not become the status of a loan does not abide by the above restriction, and the person may personally and forcibly collect what he is owed from the person who owes him. If he sees his wallet lying around, he can take out $1,000 or whatever it is to pay himself back. Now, what cases are included in this allowance? Someone owes you rent for the car, for your home. An employer owes money to his employee. In all these cases, the debt was not incurred due to a loan, and therefore it may be collected forcibly by the person who is owed. However, there's a major qualification here, and that is that this applies so long as the money owed has not become the status of a debt. In the law, in the wording of halacha, this is called zakvan alav b'milveh. The moment, however, that the money owed has become the status of a debt, even though it didn't start off as a debt due to lending, then once again it goes back to the original law that it's forbidden to collect debts in a forcible manner from the person who owes the money. What is the definition of a case where the debt becomes a loan, becomes a milveh? So there's different opinions on this matter, but practically we rule that as soon as the due date arrives, meaning the final due date of payment arrives, and the employer or renter still has not paid his obligations, the owed money becomes a debt, and he may no longer, the landlord or the employee may no longer forcibly collect it. This qualification makes this case of allowance very limited, as usually today people don't ask to collect a debt prior to the due date arriving. They give the person at least till the due date. And once the due date arrives, it already becomes the status of a loan. So bottom line, a majority of cases that money is owed to an individual, whether it was due to a loan or due to other reasons that the money is owed, rent, employee, damages, merchandise, etc., if it's after the due date, he may no longer forcibly collect the debt from the person who owes him. So what do? This guy owes money, is not doing anything, and the Torah locks up our hands and say you can't do anything about it, you can't forcibly take anything from him, he has to do it on his own will. So the answer is, for this we have a Bezdin. A Bezdin has the authority not only to hear the case and place different pressures on the debtor to pay his debt, but they are even allowed to forcibly enter the home of the debtor through sending a representative of the court and forcibly take money or possessions to reimburse the debt. The only condition in this case, when the Bezdin has sent their shliach, is that he must leave basic provisions for the family, for the individual, so he can continue living a basic life, as is considered what's called Siddur Bal Chayv, the things that are left for the person who owes money and that are not collected, even in a case that we allow forcible collection. However, practically today, most homes has way above the minimal provisions that need to be left, such as a computer, it's not needed for work, and other things of the like that may be collected and sold to reimburse the debt. Based on all this, we can now clarify the question regarding may a person who is owed money for whatever reason obtain a writ of execution, which is from the sheriff's office. The sheriff's office will come and force the debtor to pay the loan with repossession of his assets, or in Israel to go to Hotza'ah L'Po'al and make them force the debtor to pay his loan. So the answer is that if the person went through a Bezdin, and the Bezdin gave him authority to turn to Hotza'ah L'Po'al or to turn to the sheriff's office for a writ of execution, then they are considered the hand of the Bezdin, the representatives of the Bezdin, and they are permitted to enter the home of the debtor and collect valuables in order to repay the debt. However, they must leave the debtor with the basic items of provision as we discussed above. So to summarize, a person who is owed money due to a loan or due to the due date arriving for payment of one's salary, for payment of merchandise, for payment of rent, and the person did not pay, it's forbidden for him to forcibly take money or possessions from the person who owes him. It may only be given willingly. However, he may turn to a Bezdin, which can then send a Shliach to forcibly take money or possessions from the person who owes him and sell it or give it to the person who is owed in exchange for the debt. May Hashem help that we always be on the lending side and not on the borrowing side, and if we were on the borrowing side, we should be honest individuals and keep to our obligations and pay back our loans or our debts in a very timely fashion and not allow ourselves to get into this mess of the Bezdin and the writ of execution, Hotza'ah L'Po'al, and the like.
Thank you for listening to Shulchanaruchharav.com. Our free services of making Torah knowledge available to the public depends on donors like you. Please help us continue our work through making even a small contribution at www.shulchanaruchharav.com under the Daily Halacha Dedication section or in the subscription page. Also, check out our online courses and many sefarim available for purchase that will both enhance your Torah knowledge and help support our work.